Hey up. Right, this is a video aimed at new riders really, people thinking of taking up motorcycling, but hopefully it will be interesting to the more seasoned rider as well, although I would hazard a guess that most seasoned riders already know the answer to that question. Are motorcycles dangerous? Now, I'm sure that just about every seasoned rider will have had that conversation with an acquaintance, a friend, or even a stranger. You've mentioned that you're into bikes, and the retort that you get back is, "Oh, you'd never get me near a motorcycle, bikes are dangerous." And that statement will usually be backed up by some anecdotal story of a friend, an acquaintance, a friend of a friend that was killed or seriously injured on a motorcycle. Now, it's not up to me to persuade someone else that motorcycles are not dangerous if they think they are dangerous. Usually I will just leave it at that, but if I'm pushed, I always have one stock answer, and that is that a motorcycle is no more dangerous than a loaded gun. Now, this usually elicits a response from that person of confusion, and more often than not they'll ask you to explain, and so I give them this explanation. No firearm or motorcycle has ever harmed anyone. You can load a gun, you can even cock it, you can place it on a tabletop, and it will sit there for 10, 20, 30, 40, even 50 years, and no one will ever come to harm from that firearm because it's just a machine. Pieces of metal, plastic, wood. In isolation on its own, it doesn't have the capacity to do any harm. It's an inanimate object, just like a motorcycle. And it's only when a human being interacts with it that it has the potential to be dangerous. Now, I always use firearms as an analogy to motorcycles because back in the day when it was still legal to possess pistols in this country, the UK, I had a firearms licence and I was a member of a registered club, and I enjoyed shooting pistols on a range. Now, the attraction for me was the safe use of guns and honing my marksmanship in a safe and responsible environment. But just like motorcycles, there was a small faction of people that struck me at the time as being there for the wrong reasons. They were into guns for the wrong reasons. For them, gun ownership or the ability to hold and use a gun was part of an immense ego trip. For me, a motorcycle is a means or a symbol of freedom. It's a relatively inexpensive and very convenient mode of transport, but the reputation that motorcycles have also tend to attract those people that I've just described at those gun clubs. People that in a lot of ways haven't yet grown up. You know, they may have been grown men, but mentally they're still immature. Now, motorcycles, just like guns, I think attract these kind of people because of the way that they've been portrayed in media over the years. You know, cinema portraying motorcycles as the main sort of subject of the film, if you like, 9 times out of 10 portray motorcyclists as dangerous, rebellious people that eat danger for breakfast and have to fight women off with a stick. And so, unfortunately, some personalities are attracted to that, so they pursue the pastime of riding a motorcycle. And because that is what their perception of a motorcyclist is, that's how they act on the roads. And those are the people that bring motorcycling into disrepute and have artificially inflated the death toll for motorcycle accidents. Now, I started looking at the death statistic for motorcyclists when I was first preparing for this video, and I abandoned it because statistics in this case are pointless. They are just numbers that don't take into account or in any way reflect the personalities and behaviours of the riders involved. Statistics only tell us of the end result. They don't tell us about the circumstances and behaviours that created those statistics. Just as an example, one statistic I did come across was the statistic for the amount of Americans that die by choking on food yearly. Back in 2006, I think it was, 4,300 people or thereabouts died through choking on a meal. And since then, there's been a steady increase in deaths year on year, until in 2019, 5,228 people died through choking on food. Now, I've got no idea what the reason is for that increase, but if you just took those statistics at face value, it would suggest that year on year, food is becoming more dangerous. Now, of course, that's preposterous. Food is not becoming more dangerous. There is some other underlying reason for that increase, but the statistics don't show that. So the statistics for motorcycle-related deaths can't be taken at face value. And to be quite honest, there's no real way of quantifying why those deaths took place, because the data quite simply isn't collected. In fact, I'm not sure if it's even possible to accurately collect that data. Granted, you are more vulnerable on a motorcycle. Motorcycles travel at high speed. They're inherently unstable, and in the event of an accident, a rider is much more exposed. So in that context, you're far more likely to come to harm in a motorcycle accident. And that's why with this channel I've always advocated safe and responsible riding, because that is the only way to mitigate and reduce the dangers to yourself as a motorcyclist. Now, I say reduce because you can't remove that danger completely, no matter how careful you are on a bike. But most experienced, responsible riders have, if you like, learned that formula of reducing the risks as a motorcyclist down to a very acceptable level. Let's face it, everything we do in life is potentially lethal. Crossing the road, driving a car, eating a cheese sandwich. These things all have the potential to kill you, but we've all learned a responsible way of carrying them out that reduces the risk to an acceptable level. And motorcycling is no different. My personal view towards safe riding of a motorcycle, surviving a lifetime as a motorcyclist, are number one, education. Make sure that you're trained properly if you're looking to get into motorcycling. The best way to avoid injury in a motorcycle accident is not about having the best safety gear, it's about avoiding that accident in the first place. Make sure that the motorcycle you ride is safe and well maintained, but don't put your complete trust in its abilities. Keep your ego under control and always ride at least 30% below what you consider the capabilities of yourself and your machine to be. Caution in any circumstances will always stand you in good stead. A huge number of accidents occur during overtaking manoeuvres. So if you don't have to overtake a vehicle that's moving more slowly in front of you, don't. Never take unnecessary risks. And last but not least, never expect other road users to do the right thing. A good piece of advice that is often bandied about, and I hear it in the comment section on my videos all the time, is always treat other road users as though they are out to kill you. Because if you do that, the chances of them actually killing you are vastly reduced. And if you follow those few points of advice that I've just given you, it won't guarantee that you will survive a lifetime of motorcycling. Nothing can guarantee that. But it will greatly reduce the chances of you becoming an on-road death statistic. Motorcycles, like any other motor vehicle, are not in themselves dangerous. It's the people that are in control of them that create the potential for danger. Education, caution and vigilance are the key to protecting yourself on the road. Once again, thank you so much for watching this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really appreciate it. I would also appreciate it if you would leave a like and perhaps subscribe to this channel if you're not already a subscriber. It does help me out. I will of course be back next week, so until then, please ride safely and I'll see you soon.